there world, I'm the Courageous Goldfish, and today we are here, of course, for my 2024 anime figure pre-orders video. Every figure collector has to make one of these. It's the law. I don't make the rules, I just follow them. So you've likely already been seeing a lot of your other favorite figure YouTubing channels put out videos like these to tell you what they're excited about for the upcoming year, what they've got kind of coming down the pipe. But this year for me, it is a little bit different. First of all, good difference is that you're probably seeing this at the beginning of January and not like at the very last second like I did last year. But secondarily, I kind of want to get into explaining how this is gonna work this year because I myself have noticed quite a drastic change in my own buying habits. I know that's kind of like a similar theme across the community as a whole, but I wanted to talk about why it looks a little bit different this year and kind of my brand new approach to the collecting that I do. If you tuned in to last year, you may have noticed that I did actually end up canceling a lot of the figures that I put in that initial video. Part of that is just maturing as a collector and realizing that I don't need to have like everything. And I just kind of want to focus on what really sparks that joy for me in my collection. So a few of them from last year did hit the chopping block, unfortunately. Of course, I want to talk about the stuff that I have like locked down and pre-ordered for this year, but I also wanted to kind of get into like figures that I'm looking at or figures that in the previous year I would have pre-ordered. That's gonna make sense in a second as I explain what I mean by that. It's no secret to anybody in this community that the prices have just increased exponentially again this year, and a lot of the times these figure releases are either widely distributed or they've been in the aftermarket, or like the aftermarket is not as scary of a place for collectors right now as it has been in the past. So that like need to pre-order it if you want it mentality has kind of like gone by the wayside a little bit, at least for me especially. And so today, of course, we're going to talk about my like solid set in stone pre-orders for this year, but we're also going to talk about figures that have scheduled releases that I'm going to be like hunting for on the aftermarket or like looking to find a good deal on, because that's kind of where I'm at with my collection right now. I'm going to pre-order the stuff that I absolutely know that I need in my collection, but ones that would just be like nice to have or ones that I just like kind of like but they're a bit too expensive. I'm gonna try and play the aftermarket and see if I can get some good deals out of it. Also, I told you guys I was in my bucket hat era. My brother got me this absolutely adorable axolotl bucket hat for Christmas and I am just living. I'm living for it. I feel so adorable. But of course, without further ado, let's just get right into it with January. One of my December pre-orders did get bumped into January. I was kind of expecting her to though, because that's kind of like been the common theme with this figure so far, is like they tell you one thing and then they delay it and then they delay it again. So I'm actually not expecting to see her in January either. It would be nice though, because I have been looking forward to her for a really long time. But this is the 1/6 scale pet girlfriend figure by Good Smile Company. You guys know I have loved this illustration ever since it was announced, and I have been following it through like the sculpt stages, the paint stages, all of that stuff. And I was so excited when she went up for pre-order around this time last year-ish, and I was so excited. I'm not usually the kind of person that collects figures that look like this, but this one in particular just speaks to me for some reason. It's also based off of a cosplayer, and so of course being a cosplayer myself, I was like, I love this. I want to see more of this. I am actually also like heavily toying with the idea of impulse purchasing the freeing Anubis bunny, because oh my god, she turned out so good. Should I really be affording that right now? No, but you might be seeing her. This is just one that I absolutely knew that I needed. I have never had a moment's doubt about picking up this figure. Honestly, for a 1/6 scale, 21,000 is really not that bad considering that's like a base price for a 1/7 these days. And so I'm really, really excited to get this one in. I do also have a couple of more pre-orders from the previous year that have kind of like bled into 2024. So you guys might know that I have been collecting the Sailor Moon Glitter and Glamours figure collection, and I do intend on collecting a full set. So I am still waiting on 4 Sailor Scouts. I have them pre-ordered through Big Bad Toy Store. Mars and Venus have been sitting in the warehouse for about 3 months or so now, and I just have kind of been waiting to see if Pluto and Saturn come in before I ship them, because they do have a warehouse, so you can get your pre-orders in and store them for a finite amount of time, and then you can choose to like ship all of your pre-orders together, which is really, really nice if you're buying things like month to month. So yes, Venus and Mars have been sitting in the warehouse for a while, but I am really, really hoping that Saturn and Pluto come in before I have to ship them so that I can just like pay one shipping fee and send them all together. The shipping in Big Bad Toy Store is not too bad. I believe, I'm not certain if it's for everything, but I believe it's a $20 flat rate to Canada. I know it's $5 for the US, but it might be $20 for Canada, because I've never paid more than $20 in shipping. And I've shipped like 3 or 4 of those at a time before, so I'm not really too worried about it. I'm just praying that they'll get their stock before I have to ship the other 2. Getting into actual like pre-orders, I do have one for January, and that is the new Sailor Moon Shuei, something. I can never say it right. I was really flip-flopping on this one. I knew I wanted to have her, but I was unsure if I wanted to play the aftermarket for her to see if I could get her for a better deal. But then I saw her on GameStop for like 130 Canadian dollars, and she ships for free. And so I was like, you know what? That's not a bad deal, to be honest, and so I decided to go that route instead this time. So yes, I do have her pre-ordered on GameStop. She is supposedly coming in January, and so hopefully I will have her to unbox pretty soon. I am also kind of flip-flopping even more so on ordering Sailor Cosmos that goes with this figure. I am not the hugest Cosmos fan in the world in the first place, and then also I'm like, I don't know. Is it worth the money to me? I haven't decided. That's what we've got going on in January. In February, I don't have any like actual pre-orders, but something that is coming out in that month that I am quite interested in is the Taito Cheerleader Miku prize figure. I have said it from the beginning that I would be a hardcore cheerleader figure collector if they were like nice cheerleader figures, and I feel like we're getting fed right now. There's a line that Hobby Sakura is doing that I am like trying to hunt down on the aftermarket, and also this brand new Taito Cheerleader Miku. Of course, leave it to Taito to put Miku in every outfit imaginable. I just really love this one. Her vibe is so cute. She looks amazing, and I really hope she turns out because I could definitely see myself picking her up for my collection. One of my biggest figure collecting tips that I can pass off to the new collectors is always wait on prize figures. Never pre-order prize figures. It's just not worth it. They always drop in the aftermarket. You can get them for super cheap. And then you also get to see how they turned out before you actually buy them, because we all know sometimes it's a bit hit or miss. So I'm crossing my fingers that she turns out well, because I will be definitely trying to pick her up on the aftermarket. In March, it's a similar story. I don't have any segmented pre-orders, but there is a Miku prize figure that looks so real nice that I am thinking about picking up. I don't know what the Italian was there, but we're thinking about picking it up. And that is the Rurudo Buy Cute Bunnies Miku illustration. Oh my god. Yes. She's so cute. I always love when different illustrators get a chance to showcase their style with the Miku character, and I think that this Buy Cute Bunny has turned out really cute. I have heard good things about this line, and I have been toying with the idea of picking up a few, but I feel like this one will be like my toe in the water if she turns out nice. I could definitely see myself picking this one up also. April is empty at the moment, but that is honestly actually a good thing because May is totally jam-packed. I say jam-packed as if I have like 50,000 different figures, but really in actuality I have 2 legit pre-orders and a couple of other ones that I'm looking at. That's a lot for me just because like my own personal consumption speed is a lot slower than a lot of the other channels on here. That's just my style, that's how I like to play it. So it feels pretty big to me. The first pre-order of May came tumbling into my life completely out of the blue and unexpectedly. I got a DM on my figure collection from a lovely user called Rain Shimmer, who kindly informed me that the Kotobukiya Dawn with Piplup figure was going up for re-release. You guys know she's been one of my grails for like ever, and so I am so excited to finally be able to get my hands on her for a decent price. It was the re-release of my dreams for so many years, and I am just so excited that it's happening. Thank you so much to Rain Shimmer for letting me know about it. I'm sure I would have seen it, but like, it gave me that serotonin that day. I was like, this is amazing. Thank you for telling me. It was really kind of you to see that and think of me, so thank you. I also actually just paid for her sister, the Dawn with Turtwig, and so I am so excited to have them both together. Finally, my Gen 4 babies together at last. The other actual pre-order I have for May is the Good Smile Company 1/7 scale, 1/7 scale? 1/8 scale? The 1/7 scale Marin Kitagawa swimsuit version by Good Smile Company. There are so many Marin figures out there, it's really hard to choose which ones it is that you want to pick up. This one just happened to hit that sweet spot for me where I was very initially impressed by her and how she turned out when she was exhibitioned. She made a strong impression on me and I thought that she was really cute, and then she went up and she was like really reasonably priced, and so I'm like, yeah, no brainer, I'm gonna pick this one up. Is she one of the more exciting things that I've got on the back burner for this year? No, but I am still pretty excited to pick her up. I think that she's very reasonably priced, and if she turns out like the promotional photos, she's gonna be a steal of a deal. And then I've got two that are coming out in May that I am interested in following the progression of the aftermarket. I don't know, that's a clunky way to say I'm hunting for them. If the situation is right, and it happens to just fall in my lap to be able to pick these up for a good price, I might just take the opportunity, if you know what I mean. The first of which is like definitely gonna be a guilty pleasure one. I love the Wakamo figure. Kosaka Wakamo? Oh my god, Neon Max did like such an impressive job on this figure. I am literally in awe. She gave such a stunning impression when I first saw her exhibitioned, and I've just slowly fallen in love with her since. I am gonna wait to see how she turns out first though. I have heard some things about Neon Max that I am like a little bit afraid of, but we're gonna see how she turns out, and if she turns out cute, I will be trying to hunt her in the aftermarket. I have no idea how the aftermarket's looking for this franchise recently. I'm not a player, so I'm like, no idea how that's gonna look, but hopefully she will turn out nice and be available for a decent price, because then I will probably be having to pick her up for the collection. I can't believe I literally talked about her earlier and then just completely forgot to circle back, but Sailor Cosmos is also coming out in May. Again, I have no idea if this is even something that I need for my collection, but I have serious Sailor Moon brain rot, so I could for sure see myself picking her up anyway. June is empty, but we pick it up back strong in July with two figures that I am interested in picking up. I am decently certain that they will be pretty inexpensive on the aftermarket, so that's why I haven't pre-ordered them. But of course, we are firstly gonna have to talk about Union Creative's Urza. I don't need to explain myself. I'm just gonna buy tons and tons and tons of Urza figures and hope that you guys are still okay with seeing them every like 3 to 4 months. The Belfine Urza that just came out is adorable as well, and I will definitely be trying to pick her up on the aftermarket as well. She has seen some movement. She's only been out for like a month, and I've seen her on AmiAmi for like 19. She retailed for 22, so I am slowly seeing it happen. My ideal target range for picking up that figure is like 17 to 18 maybe, mostly just because that's where the other Belfine Fairy Tale figures ended up settling, and so if I can get her for around there, I'll be happy. But yeah, of course, going back to Union Creative's version, Union Creative is one of those manufacturers that it's like either they put the effort in and it's really good, or it just turns out crap. And so we're just gonna have to see how this one goes. Depending on how much she ends up in the aftermarket, I might just pick her up anyways, but I have learned my lesson about pre-ordering suspect Urzas, especially this year with that whole Orca Toys fiasco. Girl, couldn't be me. And the other one that's slated for July that I am quite interested in picking up happens to be Hobby Sakura's Cheerleader Misaki 1/6 scale figure. I have been like 1 foot in, 1 foot out with these Hobby Sakura cheerleader figures. Ever since I saw Aya go up for pre-order, I have been invested and interested in seeing how this line turns out. Hobby Sakura is not a manufacturer I know a lot about, and so I was waiting to see what people thought of the first one before I was like, gotta go all in with these. And she seems to have turned out pretty well. The reviews that I've read, she's pretty cute. You can actually also find her for a decent price on the aftermarket now. She's like 10 to 11K, I think, on Mandarake. So I'm just kind of waiting to see if I can get her for somewhere in that range. Definitely looking to pick up Aya, but Misaki is absolutely adorable as well. Definitely will be seeing if I can try to pick her up as well on the aftermarket for a decent price. We'll see how it goes. I am actually looking to make this into like a set. Of course, you know, I try to work in sets, and so I really think that they would look super awesome in a detolf together. I think my favorite of the three absolutely has to be the upcoming one though. Riku, I think her name is. I think she's so adorable. Her pose is so good, and I can't wait to see her painted. August and September are completely bare as of the moment. Again, like I said, I'm really just looking to pre-order things that spark that joy in my collection and not be buying just to buy. And so there's nothing in these months that I'm like particularly interested in picking up. I'm sure there's beautiful figures coming out at all times of the year, but specifically for me, this is kind of like my grace period to breathe and maybe live life a little, you know? But then we pick it up again in October with another one that I am keeping my eye on, and that is the Aniplex Marin Kitagawa Night Pool version figure. Again with the Marins, I think she is really cute. I think the pool floaty idea is particularly unique, and I think that she turned out well and faithfully to the art. However, the 24,000 yen that her MSRP is just not it for me, especially considering I'm getting the Good Smile one for like 11. I'm like, this is really not that much different. You just gave her a pool floaty and all of a sudden she's like $150 more. I don't know. The worth is not there for me personally, and so I will be waiting to see how she turns out and how she fares in the aftermarket. I'm not too concerned with Marin because she's quite a popular character, and so I'm sure that they will be printing lots of copies of this figure, so I am crossing my fingers that she will be readily available for a cheap price. If not, I wasn't meant to have her, but would be nice if that were the case because she is really cute and I like her a lot.
And yet another one I forgot for November is Apex's 1/7 scale KDA Akali figure. Again, I'm half in, half out because I have Ari and I think they'd be really cool as a set, but I just don't know if I can bring myself to spend the extra for this one at MSRP. I could really see myself picking up Kaisa and Evelyn, so it would make literally 0 sense to only pick up like 3 out of 4. But there's something stopping me, and I have no idea what. I guess, I mean, like, I literally forgot to even include her, so obviously she's not at the forefront of my mind. But generally speaking, Apex figures have a pretty healthy aftermarket, so I'm thinking I'll play the field again and see what happens.
November is empty again, but I do have an actual pre-order for December, which, looking at it, I think is my first one. Yeah, oh my god, I have a break of like 7 months where I don't have like any actual pre-orders. That's crazy. But yes, this is one that I have a dedicated, solid pre-order for because I know that I need this figure for my collection. I don't even want to mess around with the aftermarket. I'm like, I need this figure, and I know that she's expensive. I know she might drop, but I just need her, and I'm not playing games. Like, I just want to know that I'm going to have this figure in my collection, and that is the Max Factory 1/6 scale Strawberry Shortcake Bustier girl. Oh my god, I need her. I knew I needed her. She is so adorable. I think she turned out so well, and Max Factory always kills it, and so I'm not even afraid. Like, I'm not even worried. I just want it to be December already so I can have this figure in my hands. Is 25,000 yen a lot of money to pay for something like this? A 1/6 scale, she's pretty detailed. No, it's not terrible. Like, it's not a ripoff. I'm just not gonna enjoy paying for her. But I am gonna enjoy having her, and that's the part that matters. And that wraps us up for the end of 2024. And I actually do have one more pre-order to talk about today, and this is a solid dedicated, like, I have the pre-order on AmiAmi, and this is for February of 2025. I have pre-ordered the Design Coco 1/7 scale Senbonzakura Miku figure. I pretty much never shut up about how much I love classic Mikus, and this is no exception. I've been wanting a Senbonzakura figure in my collection for a while, but the only other one was the freeing one, and she was like not super expensive but kind of hard to find on the aftermarket, and so I was really excited when Design Coco announced this brand new Senbonzakura figure. I thought she was turning out cute. I'm like, she's alright, I like it, it's very cool. And then she went up for pre-order, and that's what sold me. You're gonna tell me that I'm gonna get this beautiful ass Miku with this intricate ass base for 15,000 yen. Sorry? In this economy? Are you kidding me? And so of course I had to pre-order it because I was like, this is like almost unheard of. And so it was honestly the price that sold me on this one more than anything, considering how she looks in prototype form versus how much she costs. I'm like, you know what? Even if she's not like quite up to par over here, this price makes it worth it to me. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about Design Coco either, but I do hope that she turns out very nice because I will be picking her up. So hopefully it's not a hot mess and a complete disaster because that would be very unfortunate. But that brings us to the end of this year's pre-orders video. I know for me specifically, I have definitely adjusted my buying habits over the past couple of years, this year specifically, and so I know that this is not like as shiny of a video as it has been in the past couple of years, or like as compared to other figure channels. I do buy quite a lot less. However, I did say that about last year as well, and then ended up expanding my collection through pre-owned quite a bit this year as well. So I do buy figures, I just have less pre-orders. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I would love to know in the comments down below what you guys are excited about for the upcoming year. I know there's a lot of really nice stuff coming out this year as well. But of course, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side.